Okay, let's set up a Spark cluster on EC2. At a high level, we're going to do a couple things. One, we're going to configure Amazon. And then two, we're going to run some scripts that are provided with the Spark distribution to set up our cluster. In later sections of the course, we'll use this cluster running on EC2 from a variety of different Spark driver programs. But for now, let's just make sure we can set up a Spark cluster. To begin, log on to the AWS console. Then, click EC2. After clicking EC2, you should see a key pairs link on the left-hand side. Click that, and then create key pair. Before I do, there's a help option here, and you can learn more about what we're doing with these key pairs by clicking that. But for now, let's hit create key pair. You can name it anything you like. I'm going to name it course example. When I hit the create button, this should trigger a download of a PEM file. We're going to use this file later. Next, we need to set up some security credentials. So we're going to go under my name, your name of course, and security credentials. From here, we're going to create a new user. We can call this anything we want, but I'm going to call it course user. And then hit create. Make sure generate an access key for each user is checked, which is the default. We can download the credentials for later, and we'll do that. But for now, I'm going to take the ID and the access key, and I'm going to prepare a couple of commands that we're going to run next. So just bear with me here for a second as I cut and paste these. Okay. And then as I say, you can download the credentials in case you lose them, and that will be convenient for later. But for now, I've already cut and paste. All right, so we're ready to start using these credentials. First thing we're going to do is set a couple of environment variables. I've opened up a terminal, and the way I set my environment variables on a Mac is using export. I'm going to set the secret access key, and then I'm going to set the ID. Just set these environment variables for whatever is appropriate for your operating system. Okay, so next, I'm ready to start running the Spark EC2 scripts. I'm in the root directory of my Spark distribution, and in the EC directory, there's an Spark EC2 script. I'm going to run those, and I'm going to pass in a couple of arguments. First, here's the script we're going to launch. The key pair is course example, which corresponds to the name of the PEM file, which we downloaded before. Oh, I just remembered something. I need to copy that over here. Now, when I run it, I don't have to put in a big path name to that PEM file. I know it's right here locally. The zone is I'm going to pass in East 1A. I'm going to say I want to launch a new Spark cluster, and I'm going to call it Spark cluster example. Let's see what happens when I run this. I get an error right away. Okay, so let's update the permissions on this file. And try again. Uh-oh. Okay, looks like another error. It says, you are not authorized to perform. Oh, I know what that is. My course user probably doesn't have any permissions. Permissions, need to attach in a policy. For now, I'm going to be lazy and just give administrator access to everything. I could come back later and fine tune it. Let's see what happens now. Okay, it's looking different. Oh, another error. The requested availability zone is currently constrained. Okay, please try your request by not specifying. Okay, choose. All right, well, I'm curious. I'm going to see a little bit more about that. In my console, if I go back to EC2, I can get a general idea of what the zones are like under service health here. Okay, all right. So let's try a different zone. Oh, let's go all the way up to D. Now let's see what happens. All right, good, good. It is launching and it is starting to configure. And this is where I'm confident, since I've done this so many times, that things are going to work. Now, depending on the state of Amazon and your local connection and this can take up to about 10 minutes or so. Just hang tight. But rather than keeping you here on this video, I'm going to shut down for now, and I'll see you later on. Good luck.